the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So, day one of New York Jets training camp kicking off for us. And to be honest, this was a very active day. I wasn't expecting as much activity as what we actually saw. So that was a nice twist considering day one wasn't an actual practice day for us. I suppose it's kind of, meet and greet situation for the rookies, right? We got some of the little intros and whatnot for some of the returning players. So we got a pretty solid lineup here of things to chat about today. But give me a couple moments. It's some things I'm knocking out in the background here real quick. Okay. All right, so for starters, let's talk about our boy Denzel Mims. The fallen one is finally official. He's not going to be on our team anymore. Pretty much effective immediately. So from what I was able to gather up, he was excused from practice today, and at least for the foreseeable practices, after being told that we planned on either trading him. If we couldn't get a trade done, we were going to release him. That was going to be a guarantee. So for one, I do love the proactiveness here. I find it funny that they weren't willing to even see him hit the field with pads on, though. They got this trade done with the quickness, right? So obviously there's a couple suitors, and seeing those reports, honestly, that was surprising too. I thought Denzel Mims maybe at best would have one or two teams interested, but it seemed like he might have had a fair, decent share, right? Obviously the Detroit Lions, who we ultimately went to. But then we also get, from my understanding, the Steelers might have put a flyer out there. I heard the Patriots potentially would have put a flyer out there. There was another couple teams. I don't think it was the Cardinals that I saw. I feel like it was either the Cardinals or the Vikings, one of those two. And then I think I talked earlier today about like the Bears and the Colts. So somewhere along those lines, for sure, 3 or 4 of those teams definitely would have showed some interest. Nothing confirmed what I know, though. But Denzel Mims goes for a conditional 6th-round pick. And let me pull it up again because I'm a little hazy on the details of it. I think it is a conditional 6th-round pick for this year. Let me see. And I don't believe we know the conditions yet. Oh, okay. So from what it shows here, it's a conditional 2025 6th-round pick. And then they're going to get our 2025 7th-round pick, as well as Denzel Mims. So this is a pretty this is familiar territory for Joe Douglas. This is where he tends to shine, right? Assets that don't seem like they'll matter much right here and now. And then he ends up turning those into some high upside guys. So we're thinking, the James Robinson trade. We're thinking, who else have we scooped up in the late round again? There was the cornerback that I remember really liking, and he ended up doing nothing for us. I think he got cut in the same season that we traded him for. But yeah, nonetheless, that's going to pretty much be the move here, right? It's a pick that a lot of us are going to forget about until we hear an underrated trade for a guy that maybe is suffering through some injuries, that maybe has had at least a little bit of a recent showing of being healthy, and we like the upside, or maybe somebody that's produced and it just hasn't been at maybe an above average level, but we love all of the physical traits, something like that. But I love it. Obviously, Denzel Mims, I think he was a guy that was leave it. I think he was a guy that was he was going to get walked out of the door regardless, right? Denzel Mims has shown so little since we drafted him that it makes some of the other picks that flamed out, like Stephen Hill, look good. I want to say Elijah Moore's outproduced Denzel Mims off the top of my head. Leave it, cash. I want to say Elijah Moore's outproduced him in one season for Denzel Mims' career already. Nonetheless, though, I think the culture change has impacted us as fans as well, though, because taking a look at some things, I don't have the social media and all that, but from what I understand, Denzel Mims has actually got a pretty decent farewell from New York Jets fans, a lot of well wishes, and he probably, outside of maybe the Steelers and maybe a team that has another strong quarterback, I don't think he could have went to a better situation than the Detroit Lions. Ben Johnson, the coordinator over there, he's been making some magic happen with what they have, and he's picking up a guy that on paper, again, physical attributes solely, is a freak. And I'll always love Denzel Mims and kind of his Quincy Enunwa like tackle breaking ability and going out there and carrying 2, 3, 4 guys an extra 6, 7, 8 yards. It's a sight to see. So I'll miss that. Hopefully somebody can pick up that part of the slack for us. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to see that he's officially gone. So now we're talking the beginning stages of the 2020 NFL draft class, which was Joe Douglas's first, potentially being completely eviscerated, right? There's still an expectation, even though we assume Mekhi Becton is going to get a starting spot at one of the tackle positions. There's still the potential that he may not like this right tackle ordeal, and he demands a trade. Once he leaves, traded, or and maybe some kind of long shot situation gets cut, I think the rest of the dominoes for the draft class falls. Mekhi Becton, potential trade. Denzel Mims, traded. Ashton Davis, potential cut casualty. We had the guard dude, and I always end up forgetting his name. But either way, the guard dude that had the season career-ending injury, Cash, get off of the toy, buddy. Yeah, the list goes on and on, right? Brandon Mann gets released. So yeah, tough, realistic situation to come to grips with. But since then, at least Joe Douglas has showed a lot more in terms of matching your talent to the scheme, or maybe getting along better with his offensive coordinator, or just having that second year working with his scouting staff, being able to produce better results. Also, that 2020 NFL draft class was the COVID year. So there's a lot of different things that are changing from that aspect as well, in terms of not being able to physically get in contact with a lot of these guys and having to solely rely on game tape, which you would think wouldn't be so bad per se. But I guess dating coaches could tell you, right? Trying to do these arranged marriages per se is more difficult than you'd expect, but Denzel Mims finally out the door. No more number 11 on the roster. I do wish him well, though. I hope he definitely has a lot of success with the new. I wish he had success with us, right? But definitely with the Detroit Lions. I know, I can't remember if it's my boy Joe or who it is, but somebody chats often that Denzel Mims would have been a beast on any other team with a competent coaching staff and quarterback. And he may not be wrong. But it's not like there was just the physical stuff on the field that was it's not like there was just the physical stuff on the field that was going wrong with Denzel Mims. Obviously some personal issues that never really got chatted about or anything. You had the inability to really start the off season healthy for long periods of time. And then of course falling out of favor with I want to say basically 3 coaching staffs. I'm pretty sure I remember Adam Gase deciding not to really use him at some point during his rookie year. But either way, best of luck to him. If he balls out immediately, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised, but I will say it's not the best look for this new coaching staff unless they just want to kind of wash their hands of him. And then, of course, it doesn't shine the best light on what we've done offensively for, basically the last 15 to 20 years. So there's no surprises there, but, it is what it is. Other news, and I'm kind of running through this as I recall it and bring it up. I also got a couple side notes here. But we had some players that are kicking things off on the physically unable to perform list. So we have, let's see here. And I know the names were like AVT. I seen Randall Cobb. Okay, so we have Breece Hall on the physically unable to perform list, Randall Cobb, CJ Uzomah, and then our DB, who knows if he's going to be playing safety or cornerback, Jarek Bernard-Converse, all on the PUP list. And so, as it's mentioned all over the place, they can be activated at any point in time. So there's not really a huge concern. It is interesting because we obviously Breece Hall's injury stuff that's pretty straightforward. And then there were the reports that we got 2 to 3 months ago that were saying the New York Jets game plan is to really just allow him to focus on rehabilitation during training camp. So there's going to be a long shot that we've seen a difference in action here anyways. Randall Cobb, I don't remember showing up in any kind of injury news throughout the offseason. So maybe this is more of just if it was just a veteran rest day, I don't think we put him on the PUP list. So, maybe there's something that came up. I got to do some digging on that. CJ, I want to say he rolled an ankle or there was an elbow injury at some point during the offseason. So maybe that's still lingering for him. So CJ and Breece aren't really a concern. And then the rookie, Jarek Bernard-Converse, I don't remember seeing him on any kind of injury news or anything either. So from what I did check out, so Randall Cobb apparently had an ankle surgery in March. So that seems to be lingering for him. And then, it seems like JBC, nobody has any idea what happened. Maybe he tweaked a hamstring or something, but we've been away for a couple of weeks. So that would be concerning for me. And I don't believe we got anything about I gotta dig into this. I don't think we got any news about AVT starting off on the PUP list either. But let me check. Okay, so we have our 4 guys. Chuck Clark's on IR. Deontay Spencer, the receiver, has been moved to IR. Okay. So that makes sense. Deontay Spencer is a guy I don't even remember. I don't remember him being on our practice squad or anything like that. He may have been on off-season rollover, but 6 guys. All right, so as far as injury roster moves are concerned, Randall Cobb still dealing with an ankle surgery recovery. That could have been worded much better. Randall Cobb still dealing with his ankle. He's going to be on the PUP list. I doubt it be more than a couple weeks, but who knows? We have Jernard Barrett-Converse. Nobody has any idea why he's going to hit the list, so hopefully we get some news about that. Breece Hall still recovering from his ACL, and then CJ, who ended up having the leg injury. I don't think it was relegated to an ankle, but I do remember the reports now that were saying that he was limping off of the field. And this came right after we got the great news that he was linking up and having a pretty strong connection with Aaron Rodgers in OTA. So a little bit of a setback there, but great news for the other tight ends, right? Specifically, Jeremy Ruckert. He gets a chance to demonstrate some what he can do in some tight end 2 snaps. Maybe for a significant portion of time. We'll see what ultimately ends up happening with that. But I'm excited to see as much of Jeremy Ruckert as I can. And then the competition for the 4th spot at tight end is going to be interesting. Zach Kuntz. He maybe as a draft pick has it's his job to lose. But a lot of people really like EJ Jenkins. A lot of people really like Isaiah Gathings, who I think I did a scouting breakdown for him, I'm pretty sure, but there's not a lot really too much known about him other than him kind of being like a hybrid tight end wide receiver type deal. So I'm not mad at it. And then, of course, you have Kenny Yeboah, who's kind of the special team star right out of the gate there. I think probably most well known, though, for that Hail Mary catch during preseason to tie the game. And I can't remember who we played. But nonetheless, it's not like he's made the strongest case to stay on the roster, but you don't want to keep turning over Brant Boyer's special team unit 100%, especially considering he might be losing some of his most key guys like Justin Hardy. But yeah, we'll kind of see what ends up panning out there. But no, outside of the rookie JBC, there's no real surprises about who's ending up on the physically unable to perform list, in my opinion. And then we had possible throwbacks, uniform throwbacks. So personally, I'm a guy I'm not super in tune with the uniform situation, right? I remember like maybe mid-season seeing a lot of the other Jets content creators and just some of the fans that were like chatting on the videos and stuff. I know we had the stat record, like when we went, I want to say it's all black. I think we had like a 4-1 record or something like that at one point. But I'm not the uniform dude. I could care less, to be honest. As long as we don't have a crappy looking uniform, I'm good. But it does seem like we are potentially going to get some throwback uniforms. And I did have a quick picture here. Where'd it go? There was a quick picture of what that looked like. I guess these would be the throwbacks. A lot of people were hyped about this. Again, I'm not a uniform dude, and obviously I'm not the oldest fan in the world. To me, this is ugly. But, to each their own. I like more of like the Gotham look stuff that we have when we go black and green, pretty much straight down. But a lot of people want a throwback of some kind, and this seems to be the go-to. So if it happens, it is what it is. I did see a rumor, though, that I got to see if I can find it. It was like a video clip, matter of fact. But CJ Uzama, I guess, was CJ was behind some kind of like curtain. I don't know if they were doing interviews for like some Hard Knock stuff or whatever, but he was behind a curtain and he had on a uniform that looked very similar to the picture that I just showed you guys. So a lot of people think that is going to be, the team potentially referencing something like this. And then I think there was some kind of like tweet from Woody Johnson hinting at potentially, this new uniform as well. Boycott activity. Zach Kuntz is the player I want to see the most, either him or Zach Wilson, for sure. Zach Kuntz, to be honest, I wish I was higher on him in terms of like wanting to see him, right? He's the offense's version of what Jonathan Marshall was, right? Perfect 10 RAS score, has all the physical traits. You feel good about the tight end position being coached by Ron Middleton, and then obviously the defensive line. We know the defensive staff that we've built. But Zach Kuntz, things on paper look really good because people check out the combine, they see the RAS score, they see all the green boxes get checked and everything. But even his highlight tapes, they weren't overwhelmingly like exciting me, right? He's not a dude that's necessarily running away from a bunch of people just because he's not making some of the best catches all the time. He's not a great catch in traffic dude. He doesn't really do anything well. He's not great at blocking. So I do want to see him. He's not a guy that I'm going to like try to pinpoint and like dig up a ton of information for. But I do hope we get some positive news from him. ASAP right out of the gate would be great. But he was a guy that I've been talking about for like probably a month or two about being a potential cut from our rookie class, obviously to try to sneak on the practice squad. But I don't know. Hopefully he locks down that position. I'd hate to see a wasted pick, or at least a pick that gets stolen from us. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Zach Wilson for sure. I thought that we weren't going to get a lot of Aaron Rodgers to begin with during the offseason, the OTAs and training camp. So I thought we'd see more of Zach Wilson in that kind of lead role. But it works out that we have as deep of an offense as we do. So yeah, we'll kind of see. Really, I think the video I dropped where I chatted about it a little bit, the two biggest questions for me will be, can he string together multiple decent practices? I'm not looking for all-star activity, but can he have multiple decent practices? And can he, what was the other question? Multiple consistent practices. I think they go hand in hand. I forgot how I worded it, but multiple solid practices in a row, and then the consistency factor. I don't want to hear one practice that, he went 5 of 6 in the red zone with, 5 touchdowns. And then the next practice we got, him throwing 7 picks. I personally want a new uniform with some Fighter Jets imagery. Yeah, there's been a lot of dope stuff. I remember I was at one point before I stopped, I was drawing a lot of like New York Jets fan stuff when I was doing anime and all of that. And I remember looking up like New York Jets art or something, and like we've had some fan art that's been out there that looks pretty dope too, especially in terms of like our mascot situation. Hey, my guy Gino. All right, bet. Let me pull it up and shoot it over. Carl Fox. We don't have Jonathan Marshall now because of solid stupidity. He kept solid. He kept Solomon on the 52 because of personal feelings. How many 256-pound DTs in the NFL? I don't know about him being garbage, but it's 100% not my favorite move by the coaching staff. I can understand why. His rookie year, there was nothing saying he was going to be better than Solomon Thomas. And I know the comeback from a lot of people was going to be Solomon Thomas was trash. So, how much worse could it have possibly been, right? But I understand. We were able to sneak him onto the practice squad, which is what the goal was. And if it wasn't for the injury that the Steelers had, and I can't remember who the guy was, but if it wasn't for the injury he had, we probably would have been able to keep him all off season. Once we got kicked out of the playoffs, it was a pretty solid chance we would have seen him in training camp again, and I think he would have earned a roster spot. But outside of the solid stupidity thing, I'm 100% with you. There's no way in the world that Jonathan Marshall should have been allowed to get snatched up. Same as Kuntz, Rask, God level. You don't risk that for something. Yeah, 100%. Kuntz is in a better situation, at least from that standpoint, because like who's more athletically gifted than him, right? Yeah. If you like the, what do we call them? Workout warriors. If you like those kind of guys, Zach Kuntz is right up your alley. Gino, I got you in a minute. My thing, my phone tripped out on me for a minute. Actually, I'm gonna shoot a link in the chat too. If anybody wants to come on and shoot the breeze with your boy, get some hot takes off, be my guest. Here we go. Where are you at, Gino? Here we go. All right, Gino, I just shot it to you. Mims will get 1,200 plus yards next year. Some dumb move to not play him. What? Oh, same dumb move to not play him as not dressing Huff last year. Yeah, I would never understand why Huff was inactive for 3 games to start the season. Mims, you're wilding. I see him getting 1,200 plus yards whatsoever. But I will say he could probably go out there and probably put up like an 800-yard season. And Ben Johnson, he does some very creative things with his offense and being able to get some of those guys in position. Like when I chat with the Detroit Lions guys, like my other channel, New York Jets Syndicate, is part of some kind of like network, I guess you could call it.
What?
That runs. Oh, what's good, Gina? I didn't even realize I brought you in here already. Yeah, the dude that runs that, he has like a bunch of other ones, but he's mainly a Detroit Lions fan. I check out some of his stuff just because I get interested in kind of what they had going on. And then when we were doing our coaching search, I thought we could probably scoop up Ben Johnson too. But they didn't. The Detroit Lions didn't have a lot of star power in that wide receiver room, and they still went crazy. Number 1 offense for a good amount of weeks. So and they did it in different ways. Some weeks their receiving game was crushing people, and then other weeks they kind of led on the rushing attack, and then were murking people in like play action. But yeah, Denzel Mims is going to be in a clutch situation over there. If he can't make it work with the Detroit Lions, not like they're god tier offensive wise, they could easily fall off a cliff for sure with some of the suspensions and stuff. But if Ben Johnson can't find a way to make Denzel Mims look decent over there, then I don't think he has a shot elsewhere.
True.
Boycott activity. G, what you got?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm over here. I'm actually at work. I'm doing the overnight right now, but I saw you on, and I was kind of happy that you were on because it's boring as heck right now.
I feel you.
But yeah, I did want to say about Zach Kuntz right now. I've broken out of the mold of having those preseason guys. I haven't been that type of guy for a long time. You know, we had some chancy stuffies in the past and all that stuff like that we were all hoping to become superstars.
For sure.
But Zach Kuntz, it's not for me. It's not just a workout guy. I really like what I saw on tape. From I forget his college.
Are you talking about from Old Dominion, or are you talking about from when
Old
he
Dominion?
was?
Okay.
Yeah, Old Dominion. And the reason why is, for me, it's not only about do you run routes textbook. It's about like weird body movements, and I think that's kind of what Garrett has going for him. Like he has these like really weird arms when he runs routes. And I think Zach has some of that when he runs routes, and I think that's what really gets him open more than anything. So it's not just the RAS score; that's a bonus. I mean, the guy's 6'7", runs a fast 40, and I don't Ruckert. When it comes to Ruckert, I'm not a big fan of Ruckert. I have hopes for him. I have hopes for him, but when I watched him on tape, this is what I saw in college. This is what I saw. I saw a guy that he knows the spacing. He knows what's open on a particular play. He's not a great route runner, and I don't think he's a great blocker. I think he's one of those heavy hitters when he blocks. Like some blockers, they heavy hit, and it makes it look good. Like we had a fullback one time that was like, I forget his name, but he wasn't a good blocker, a good lead blocker. He just hit hard, and I think Mekhi Becton does that a lot. Like they lean into their athletic profile, and they're like, oh, I'm a big guy, so I hit hard. But you're not getting the right angles. You're not getting locked onto a guy. You're hitting sometimes, and if you don't hit him right, he might just get in the way of the actual run. So when it comes to Ruckert, I'm not a huge fan. Like to me, like if I was to sit down and watch tape with someone, I'd show them what I mean. Sometimes he's missing a bunch of blocks because he's just trying to hit you hard instead of positioning and locking you down and all that stuff like that. So that's why I think there's space for Zach Kuntz to maybe get somewhere on this roster. I don't know. That's just me.
Hot takes for sure. So as far as that Kuntz, I definitely know what you mean about like some of the weird, I guess as you put it, some of the weird body movement. It was one of the reasons why I wanted Drake London over Garrett Wilson. Matter of fact, I didn't think Garrett Wilson was going to pan out at least in year one because he does some extra steps like with his releases off the line of scrimmage, and then he just does odd movements that I thought during his route running would mess up the timing of like a quarterback. Obviously, he killed it in college, but like we know how technical the NFL likes to get. So, I mean, you might have a point. Zach Kuntz may be able to go out there and show some things during training camp. As you mentioned, we've seen a lot of guys that look like superstars in training camp, and then they flamed out to be nothing. It's not like we're expecting him to be tight end one, though. So I suppose whatever we can get his rookie year would be a bonus.
Yeah. I mean, when I watch tape of people, it's not just like even with running backs. Running backs, it's about style a lot of times with me. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so it's about style a lot of times with me. So like Nick Chubb has a style to me that even when he's running and someone has the tackle, because I played football, when he's running, his upright, his body size, it's like when people hit him.
That's all you tried to tell me, but it was too late. You chased out your brother.
You too, bro. When people hit him, they kind of like go low a lot. I think it's based on the way he runs, and he just gets a lot of like broken tackles with his like straight legs and stuff like that. So styles, almost they say like styles make fights.
Yeah,
I think styles are important to like athletes. That's why sometimes they're great in college, but I think their style is what separates them sometimes in the pros. Like you just don't have a good style to really get the yards and such.
fair play. Where you at with it, Gino?
I think when Uzama and Conklin move on, whenever that'll be like in a year or two, I think Kuntz has all the traits. It's going to come down to, is this system going to be good for him? Rucker, I think we only scratched the surface on what Rucker can do, because they didn't really use his, athletic ability when it comes to catching, route running. He was more of a blocker, and he's a very good blocker. But I think everything, because he's redshirted last year, right? Rucker was redshirted, didn't really do much. I think both of them are going to do good in training camp. I think Rucker's going to be a surprise. But I think Kuntz is going to be here because Joe Douglas does not cut his first year draft picks that he drafts. So I think he's going to be here. And I would be scared if he did go on like the practice squad. I think someone could pick him up. But I do like Kuntz's height. I like what he does in the red zone. But overall, tight end position, if you bring four of them on, one of them's going to have to go special teams, and one of them has to be a blocker, because you don't know what Bawden's going to do. What's Bawden going to do in the Hackett system? So we'll see.
I'm sorry to cut anybody off, but that's a good point. Like with Hackett, he uses a lot of fullback. So
tight ends.
I think Bawden was a good blocker last year. Yeah. He was a good to me. Not last year. Was it the year before? I think he was a good blocker, and so I think I want him here. So it's rough for me because I want Bawden, but I still want Kuntz to be there. So that's why I'm almost not sure how that would work out for me. And especially when you want to have 7 running backs. Now all of a sudden, so I don't even know how that's gonna work. But and then we cut Mims, so maybe there's space there, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to have our cake and eat it too, as they say. Like when we did our 53-man roster projection, like the most likely scenario for us was that we're gonna end up having to take a hit in like the safety room, or we're gonna end up having to go like 4 linebackers instead of 5, or something crazy like that. Right. If you really want to try to squeeze some of these guys on, because I mean, Denzel Mims, him being released, I don't think sways the needle one way or the other too much for me. We could still just as easily say we'll just keep 5 and try to like squeeze all our undrafted free agent guys on. But I think whoever – so basically, like the way our team is set up right now, whoever can start solidifying roles immediately, that's who most likely is going to end up winning. I don't think we'll be able to play the card where that's why Zach Kuntz is so interesting to me. We're not going to be able to just sit there and say like, all right, we see what we could have. We'll let this marinate. Like if you can't find a role this season, you're probably going to end up having to take your chances on missing out on a guy.
And not only that, I mean, we have to see what's up with his knee. That injury, the reason why he got drafted at the end, he would have gone second, third round easily. But we have to see how that knee is going to hold up. I know he's healthy now. I know he's good now. But you never know down the line, though, because Yeboah, he's a good special teams guy. I could see him being on the practice squad. So it's going to be tough.
I think he still would have went later. I'm thinking like maybe at the highest, the 5th round. Who he reminded me a lot of from like a physical standpoint was Jelani Woods. I think he was from like a draft or 2 ago. He went to hold on.
Was it Tennessee?
I think so. I want to say yeah, but I wasn't 100% sure. Jelani Woods was another freak guy from like a RAS score perspective. And he had better tape. He went to the Colts. That's who grabbed him up. Okay. Yeah, he was another guy that was like a freak athletically, and he had better tape. And I think he went in the 4th round. It was 3rd round, number 73. Okay, he kind of reminded me a lot from him from that standpoint. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up because it's a little disappointing to me. And what I saw from his tape and everything, he didn't really do anything overly well. Like maybe if he had 2 years with Old Dominion instead of just 1, since he actually got used with him, we'd be talking about a different player. But yeah, especially for him to be an older prospect too. Like he's had a lot of time red-shirted with I can't remember where he was at before Old Dominion off the top of my head. But
yeah, it was a really small school. It could have been like a community college school.
No. It was hold on, we'll set this right now. I know it wasn't like a super small school.
The D2? D3?
He was oh my God, it's right there. I'm Googling it right now, but it's literally right there in my head, and it's not.
I forgot.
Was it was it Louisville?
Penn State. There we go.
Penn State. Okay.
Penn State. Okay. He was with Penn State chilling for like 2-3 years before he was like, I got to get some playing time. So like when Penn State didn't play him, and after, I looked into him, I was like, all right, that makes a ton of sense. You go to Old Dominion. And then it's not even like with Old Dominion, you are talking about a super small school. He went out there and dominated like statistically on paper, but he didn't really go out there and like reset the record books for what he could have done. Like I look at like Max Mitchell, like when in the Sun Belt Conference, he definitely looked like the best tackle over there.
Easily.
Yeah, so like he's not one of those kind of caliber guys that we picked. To me, he's definitely we were when we picked him up and I finally seen what he was about. He was a guy that I looked at and said like, yeah, the Jets are planning to see what he looks like by year 3. He's probably not going to be expected to do too much right away.
Yeah,
like. If you watch some, because when I watch tape, I watch it from a lot of different angles, even a psychological angle sometimes. I wish I could find the video that I was watching. It came down to the wire in one of these games, like it was a really close game at Old Dominion. And his quarterback at some point was just like tossing the ball. I know it's Old Dominion, I get it. But at some point, the quarterback was just like locking onto him, like go, and just tossing the ball to him. And he's getting catches. Like everybody knew the ball was going to him, and they were just tossing the ball to him. And he's using his height, he's using his route running and his speed, and he was getting some clutch catches. You know what I mean? So it might take some time. I get that. I get this is a developmental type guy, but I don't want him to be put on like the practice squad, and then
Yeah,
somebody
me
take
too.
him. You know,
Me
last
too.
year we were like the
Me too.
most purged team last year. You know what I'm saying? So
it took so many.
it could be this year too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say though, you know, I think Trey Dean can do double duty. I was
Yes.
gonna say that
Yes. That's
yeah.
my guy.
if they
That's my
keep him.
guy.
That's part of that conversation. We almost have to keep 4 guys because I don't think he beats out Tony Adams, who also can be used in a couple different positions. And I don't think he beats. Well, okay, there is a world because
But-
Adrian Amos isn't a lock to stay on the roster, but like he'll have to have some pretty good luck with like roster moves.
Yeah, but I could see him starting though if he is gonna make this team.
Hell no! If he's starting, I'm sad.
Really?
Yeah,
So is Chuck Clark on injury reserve or something?
yeah. They put him on IR today.
Yeah, they put him on IR today.
Okay.
Him and Spencer, the wide receiver.
Yeah. If Trey Dean is starting for us, bro, I'm sad. Like I like his skill set, but he's
You want Tony Adams to start?
If Tony Adams starting, I have no problem as a free safety. If Tony Adams is starting as a free safety, I have no problems. But Trey Dean at either spot, I'm sad.
This guy.
I think he could come in, back up, do linebacker / safety.
As a backup, he's probably great, right? You put him in limited snaps. You put him in specifically as best you can the situations he did really well in, which was kind of blowing up coverage closer to the line of scrimmage, being able to follow and line up with the tight ends and the running backs. But if you put him in a situation where he's going to have to cover anything more than like 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, he got 8 alive at Florida.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But that's why Chuck Clark, we were going to use him a little bit at linebacker. Yeah. And that's what the set piece was going to be. But now you don't have that option anymore. Now we got to figure out the Sherwood, Nazardine, Hall, and then there's another one.
You think we try to bring Chuck Clark back
next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be tough though. It's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna be honest with you. With the amount of strong safeties we have on this team, like this team, for a while we were doing it with defensive tackles, where we just had 48,000 defensive tackles. We're starting to stack up on some strong safeties now, man. I listen. I like Chuck Clark. I get it, but like we just have a bunch of strong safeties. I think we're gonna hopefully draft a free safety next year. And I guess we'll see where he goes because we got Whitehead,
Yeah, you don't know what they're going to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's so hard to. I don't know if we want a true free safety or if they do just want some guy that has a decent combination of ability to play both roles. It's hard to find a natural free safety.
I mean, it's going to come down to if hypothetically this does happen, and if we keep Hardy. It's going to come down between Clark and Hardy, and Whitehead might be the man out. Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you can't keep all 3 of them, I feel like.
You talking about for, like, next year?
Next year. This is next year. This is not this year.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, I don't know if we try to extend Whitehead.
It just can't be a
the only issue with Whitehead was on some plays, his height really showed up. Like it really showed, like I said, I'd have to show you the plays, but it was certain plays where it was just like if he was taller, he would have stopped that. You know what I mean? That's my issue with Whitehead more than anything. His positioning is not so bad to me.
Yeah, I was pissed that he sacrificed so many easy tackles to try to completely murk off a guy, and then because of his size, he just kind of bounced off certain dudes. That
and dude, he could add so many interceptions too. So many, bro. Yeah. Oh my God.
Other fingers.
One thing we have to realize is somebody was talking about this earlier. Defenses change, and the statistics and outcomes of a defensive play changes when your offense is scoring. So now your edge rushers are rushing more. Your safeties, your corners are playing for picks more. They're jumping passes. They're not trying to play the line of scrimmage as much. So that might have been the difference with Whitehead because he was playing with Tom Brady, so he was playing with decent scores. You know what I'm saying? And he was a Pro Bowler. Some people they just can't play where they're just they have to guard the run all the time. You know what I mean? Because they're down or the
Mhm.
score is close or whatever. So those things change players. And
That's
what
true.
they do.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, his tape looked very different. Like when I watched not even his Buccaneers highlights, but like when I actually got a chance to sit down and watch some of like the all 22 clips for like his Buccaneers film, I was hyped because every other play, you see him like shooting through the line of scrimmage. He's doing some Troy Polamalu type stuff and like getting in the backfield and blowing people up, and we didn't really get none of that.
He was all over the ball. His tackles were crisp. They were hard. The timing was different. Like he was one of the best at speed in the tackle in the front. And now when he last year was like, okay, where was that? It's like Lakin Tomlinson, right? You know where was that? You can't sit here and tell me like that they just can't they don't remember how to play football, right? They gotta have a bounce back.
Nah, this is obviously we got our football version of the Monstars because
truth.
That was tough to watch. Seeing Lakin Tomlinson get abused like he's not a 320 something pound man.
Pro Bowler and everything.
I think I seen an interview late from him, but I don't know. I think it was Eric Allen, our Jets guy. But I remember him doing like an interview or something with him, and I don't remember if it was mid-season or something from preseason. But Lakin Tomlinson was talking about how he likes to dominate at the line of scrimmage and power versus power, show how he's overwhelming the guy. And then the very next game that comes up, I watch a guy turn him into a turnstile for 60 minutes. And I was like, this is different.
It's like, okay, you're related to Revis. Okay, you need to pick his brain a little bit more. A lot more.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you see players just like get signed to another team and just disappear, it shows you how much the previous coach had an impact on them in their coaching style and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the system too.
Yeah, the system. Like everybody makes fun of Jamal Adams now, but Jamal Adams was a straight up beast.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? So when you're talking about Whitehead is kind of in that a similar system to Seattle right now. So you're not going to see him do the same thing he was doing with the Bucks. So sometimes it's that freedom or that lack of freedom, that safety, that changes everything.
I think the thing that irked me the most outside of it was that I love our safety guy. Marquand Manuel and Tony Odoms is like the cornerback and safety coaches. I love the work that they put in with the different type of players they've had. But seeing how our cornerbacks played and then seeing that like both of the safeties let down all of the coverage in front of us that we did so well to build up all offseason, it was tough. I've never seen two safeties in tandem play so terrible. LaMarcus Joyner damn near throwing. He giving up 20 yards per pass down there, and then you have Whitehead, who almost every play looks like he's either falling on the ground or somebody's rocked him to sleep. Like man.
I was so mad when we re-signed Joyner. I had no faith in Joyner. I know a lot of people did. He played a little bit good with the interceptions, but overall, man, I was like, it didn't
make sense to me. It definitely just screamed, that previous connection that he's had with Robert Saleh at other stops before. Because,
I know, but it's still
you can't get much worse than how he played. I would have rather legit seen Tony Adam
same
trial by fire experience and fall flat on his face.
Or get your guy, Bryce Hall, to move over there, right? I don't know if you boycott. I don't know if you know. He's a strong advocate to get Bryce Hall to safety. DK is.
Find some way to get the man.
I mean, Some people are ballers. Some guys are just football guys. They can do that. Not every guy can. You know what I mean? Like, um, some people have this love affair or a like affair right now with Jared Bernard Converse, and they
Yeah.
want him on the team. And I didn't see
Mm.
anything from that in college. I don't know. He was getting burned in college to me. I don't know, maybe whatever people think. Not everybody could do that conversion, you
Facts.
know.
Yeah.
So maybe not. He has the speed, but
Yeah.
so does Ashton Davis, and that didn't help him.
Ugh.
And I'm done with him.
Yeah, I think we're all done with him. We've been done with him. Oh, I mean, I see why Converse would stay though. Like I get because JE doesn't cut his first year draft picks, but not only that, he's better at safety in my personal opinion than he is as a corner. Because at LSU, he was more as a corner, but the team he was with before, he was better in the safety position. So I can see why they would keep him to be a dual threat.
Yeah, the Jets have had some rough safety years for a while. I'm talking about, that's why they draft Adams and I forget who else was with it. Back
It
to
was
back.
it was Adams, and then it was
Marcus May.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say this shouldn't be
Marcus
that
May.
hard. Yeah,
Marcus
Yeah.
May. They drafted him back to back to solve that, and then just let them. Well, I understand they traded Adams, but then just let Marcus May go, and we're right back to square one. You know what I'm saying? Last time we had like a really solid safety. I don't know if you remember this guy's name was Kerry Rhodes. But
yeah.
that was
Yeah,
way
yeah,
back.
yeah.
But well, I mean,
Real solid safety.
we had
Didn't he
why
have
am I
Smith?
forgetting?
Don't say
dudes?
Jim Leonard.
No.
Don't
I
say
hated
Jim
you.
Leonard.
No. We had that weird year or two where we had scooped up damn, what was his name? The dude was like
Ed Reed?
no. He was like a
Wait, he was-
6'4", like 200. Hold on.
It's not Kerry Rhodes.
No.
Sounds like Kerry Rhodes.
No. This was hold on. Because I remember just looking at him and being like, "What? This man's a safety? Like he was ripped to the nines, bro. He was yoked.
I don't know.
Hold
I
on.
bet you when you say it,
It sounds familiar. It sounds like a Ty Bowles guy to me.
It's no. This is like way before then. This is like around
Was
I
this
think
Rex Ryan year?
Rex Ryan or just before him.
Mancini?
Man, this sounds like Kerry Rhodes.
Nah. Well, yeah, when I could find it and give it to you guys, you'll be like, oh yeah.
I'm just saying everything is adding up to Kerry Rhodes right now. But go ahead, yeah, I get you though. I mean, how you getting people too?
That piece I know
How
for
you
sure.
getting
LaRon Landry, that's what I was thinking of.
Landry? Oh yeah, he wasn't 6'4". He was like 6 feet tall.
Now, whatever he was, I
LaRon
remember
Landry was.
he.
I mean, yeah, I remember the player, but he wasn't that special.
Nah, he wasn't
He was
special.
rocked up.
I just remember him being like a walking brick at safety, and I'm like, this man should be a linebacker, if anything.
Yeah, he was rocked up though. He was rocked up, but I think they found out he was on some steroids, some kind of human
I mean,
growth
that's
hormone.
when I seen him. I don't. I never seen too many safeties
He was
walking around
rocked.
looking as credit as him.
That's
And
true.
then he was another one of those kind of freak athlete dudes. He ran like a 4.35 at like his combine.
Yep.
Hold on. And I could have swore he was like 6'4". Okay, 6'1". They BSing. They said 6'1" and 214 when he came out. I remember him being listed at 230 pounds.
He had a brother in the league too.
Yeah.
Brother in the league. I remember that.
Oh man, I know who you're talking about, Boycott. I just forgot what team he played for.
I think it was.
Wasn't he better?
I think it was LeBron.
Wasn't he better
though?
He was better though.
Was he better? You know what? I think LeBron had a really good year one time. I can say that. I don't know if overall throughout the career his brother was better, but I think he had like a really good 1 year or something like that. I'm not sure of the rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, our save, man, I'm telling you, this is one of our most complete teams I've ever seen.
Facts.
Like all we're missing is safeties, look, maybe a free safety, and then we're kind of
Linebacker.
unsure on the offensive line.
Linebacker.
Linebacker might be solid. Maybe it might be solid. Maybe.
I
I
I
mean, you
understand.
know,
I understand where you're coming from, but I'm still trying to figure out the Sherwood is ready or
yeah,
not.
true. Very true.
I'm not
Very
as
true.
down on the linebacker unit as a lot of other people that I hear. I'm in the
Yeah.
same boat. I think we actually got, obviously, because we're only playing two guys a decent amount of time, but like, I'm comfortable with Jamie and Sherwood as being a third starter, and I like some of the pieces we have
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah. I'm a
Now, I
fan of
would like to
Sherwood. I
sign
want him
what's
to
his
do
name?
well.
You want Quan back?
Oh,
I
you
do
want
want to
Quan back?
re-sign. Yeah, I do want cornerback. I do want him back though. I don't see this is my thing. I get you have someone you're trying to develop for the future, but let's just get this Super Bowl run one time. Let's get this run.
Yeah, go get
Let's
everybody.
get everybody
Go
we
get Cook
need.
now.
Let's get all the veterans. Let the rookies get their little bit of time, but let's get our veterans. Let's line them up. Let's go get our missiles lined up, ready to launch. And then next
Yeah.
year, whatever, let these guys develop whatever cool. Let's get this one Super Bowl run. Get everybody we need. You know what I'm saying? So,
Dude, if the Jets win the Super Bowl, we're shutting down New York and New Jersey.
man, listen. When I tell you I have memes lined up for Twitter if we win the Super Bowl, I have so many memes.
Dude,
They,
DK,
they had this.
he's got some files. He's got some files that he's
I'm
ready to go.
telling you, they had this lineup with a bunch of rookies, and
Yeah.
you know how Brees Hall look. Brees Hall doesn't have emotions, right? So, like a bunch of the rookies look, happy or whatever, and Brees Hall was just like, Brees Hall. So
Doing the
they put a
Derrick
arrow
Yeah.
over his head and said, "This is what
Yeah.
you look like when you're drafted by the Jets." I want to take that picture and then put a Super Bowl trophy in his hand because his hands were folded and say, "This is what it looks like when they're drafted by the Jets." I have so many memes,
My
bro.
man,
So
Yeah.
many.
I would
I'll be ready to look at
probably
it.
officially make a Twitter account just to see things pop off after we get to see.
Bro, that would be so funny if you did. Because you hate that stuff.
Bro, I can't deal with social media, and like it's already interesting enough to me when like
Yeah.
I might go through my comments once or twice a day, like maybe at lunch at work, and then at night when I'm like trying to do a video or something, I'll roll through before I pass out. But like
Okay.
I got trolls now on YouTube, and this ain't even a social media platform. This it's some, I'm shooting the shit out here just because I enjoy talking about the team and all of that. But like,
You might as well get on Thread, honestly.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, bro. I can't. It's not even necessarily
that's
the whole I hate social media thing. I know for a fact I'm gonna keep up with it. Like
Yeah.
I get all kind of crap through Instagram now, and like I look at that like once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
If I see you tag me in something, like that's
Yeah. Well, you're a lot better about it than the other guy.
yeah, I can't do it.
Listen. I don't know if we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year, but I'm telling you, if we would have had Aaron Rodgers last year
Oh yeah,
and
we
Brees Hall would have stayed healthy, we would have went to the Super Bowl. We were a healthy third string quarterback away from the playoffs. And we had Aaron last year.
I would
that
say
listen,
was awful though. Oof.
The whole line was rough. It was definitely rough. You know what I mean? But even damn, I forget a lot of names. But even my man from the Ravens, the quarterback we had, he was leading the league in touchdowns and yards.
the Ravens.
You know what I mean?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Oh yeah.
So
I was going through the Ravens roster in my head. I was like,
you mean the guy we got out from the nursing home, right? And we put him on
yes, Joe
Flacco.
Old man Winter.
Flacco.
He was leading the league in yards and I think touchdowns the first week or two or something like that.
That man was throwing like 54 passes a game or something crazy, though.
Yeah, dude.
I get that is true, but Brees didn't really develop yet. So at some point we put Zach Wilson in, and he was playing like Jamarcus Russell, and we were just getting the ball to Brees, and we had like a five win streak with just Brees. Add
Facts.
Aaron Rodgers to that with that defense, the way that listen, listen. I know highlight tapes are really deceptive, but I put in every sack from the New York Jets 2022 season, and I watched that, and I was like, this. They were mauling offensive lines, bro. They were mauling offensive lines. Everybody was getting in there, bro. You know what I mean? And even when you watch like a game over and all that stuff like that, like they were mauling these offensive linemen. Like Quinnen's technique, I don't know where he got it from. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like this dude he would he would shake you, push you to the side, underhook you, and then bounce off of the center to get in. I'm like, did you plan the bounce too? Like, how did you plan the bounce? Like, I'm telling you, these guys have skill. Roll tide. I'm telling you, this guy has so much skill, and I think he just needed some edge rushers to really show it because he is a beast when he's not getting triple team.
They what did they do? They dropped the new Madden roster scores and all that, and I think they have him as like the fourth best defensive tackle.
Yeah, which is I don't even give a crap about
that's
that
right.
stuff. I don't give a crap about that stuff.
That's right.
Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
I had to crack up because they put Dexter
Lawrence. I don't even understand the Deron Payne thing. I haven't watched a lot of Giants, but I don't even understand the Deron Payne thing. Like,
no.
I thought he was gonna be like.
You're talking about
Lawrence?
Talking about Dexter Lawrence.
Was it Lawrence? Yes, Lawrence. Yeah, like he's right there. Like he's above Quinn, and I was like, okay. No, I didn't watch a lot of Giants.
Dumb.
From what I saw from Quinn, man.
It's because they somebody dropped a screenshot of like the side by side statistics. They played. I think Dexter's got him by a couple of games, but like all the other stats are similarly close. So everybody's trying to make the case that Dexter Lawrence is better, if not at least equal to him. And I'm like, these are two different kind of guys for one. And again, he's got
two different systems.
Quinn and beat by a decent amount of games, and the stats are still close. And Quentin Williams isn't being utilized nearly as much as any other defensive tackle in the league that's a starter. So
true.
Hey, so since I got y'all on live and in person, real take. What do y'all think we're getting from Will McDonald?
Oh man, he's gonna be the sleeper. I'm very high on Will McDonald. Everyone keeps saying he's got to beef up a little bit. He's got to see what you get him when he gets in the pads. For me, he's very bendy. He's very quick. He's got a really fast get off. I think he fits Salah's system because Salah wants that next, like Bosa. He wants that. He really likes edges a lot. When you've seen him with Seattle, when you've seen him with the 49ers, he wants that. He loves those edges so much. That's why I think JJ is going to step up a lot more this year. I've been saying this for 6 months.
Yeah.
So is McDonald.
Yeah.
McDonald is going to be a sleeper. He's one of my guys to look out from. I think he can possibly start just like JJ. I think Carl Lawson's going to be that guy that's going to start on the other side. And JJ and McDonald are my guys. I mean, we still got Huff, right? Huff's a really great player, really great get up, really great fast guy. But man, Will McDonald and JJ are my guys. I think they're going to make a lot of noise. You just got to see what you got to do when you get them in pads. But overall, I think it's brilliant what we got going with those guys.
I think he'll kind of be closer to being used how Bryce Huff is than anything. We'll see if they think he's like strong enough to hold up against the run, and then he'll be able to get some more stats. But I'll probably say for like the fantasy stats, I'm looking at him probably having like 5 on the season.
I don't think his stats are going to represent how good he is.
Yeah, not even
right.
I don't think his stats are going to represent how good he is. I think mainly because they split up usage so like evenly, like everybody's like trying to get on the field. You know what I mean? So I think that's what his stats aren't going to represent how good he is. But like when I watch him on tape, right? So Like I said, I like technique, I like styles, I like skill, and all that stuff like that. His his skills, his technique is troubling to a lot of offensive linemen. Like
Bro, that spin move, that
Jump over,
rip.
he's
bro. Jumps over
to
cars
me,
for God's sakes.
it's not even the spin move. The guy runs towards you, shakes you, and then gets at a certain angle where then he can. He's like a running back rushing the pass. I wish I could have. I'll show you on tape. I had to slow it down for this YouTube guy. He always does um like breakdowns. He would shake you and get your arms, get you to reach, and then you're all arms. You know how when you push something, you use a lot of body.
Yeah.
He shakes you and then makes you reach, and then it's your all arms, and then he runs through your arms. I wish I could show you what I mean. It's amazing.
I see what you
You
talking
can't
about.
really get a good grip on him.
Yeah, anytime he's got an offensive tackle to go full extension, he's ate them up.
Ate them up.
Yeah, he's just very naturally gifted in that position because overall he's like a little bit of a Bryce Huff. I think he's gonna be the future because you just don't know what Huff's gonna be this year. You don't know if he's gonna stay this year. Like he's on playing on the tag. So I think McDonald's is gonna be better because I think he's got a better future here.
I hate to be I'm not comparing when I say this, okay? Please forgive me for saying this.
No, that's fine.
He reminds me of Von Miller. That's what he reminds me of. A taller Von Miller. Like a longer Von Miller.
Hey.
Like
Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion.
lot of athleticism. A lot of athleticism. Like with his movement and everything like that. He reminds me of Von Miller. And
That's a question mark.
They beat Josh Allen with Jamarcus Russell, and now we have Aaron Rodgers. So the only thing about the only worry I have about this team is defenses can change from year to year. That's the main problem I have. Defenses can change from year to year.
To be honest, though, I don't think like when I take a look at the defense, obviously we could take a step back. I don't think it'll be anything crazy, but like outside of our injury luck that like me, Gunny and Gino have chatted about quite a while. It's not like we excelled in some of those categories that require a lot of luck. Like we didn't recover a bunch of fumbles, we didn't snag a ton of interceptions. Like they just play sound technical football in terms of like limiting what a team can do after the catch, limiting where they're catching the ball in general at. So I don't think it'll be as crazy unless some team figures out how to get better matchups with like what we saw, like the Vikings, what we seen the Detroit Lions to an extent, and what we seen, I think it was the Bills and another squad did where they kind of put their taller guy over DJ Reed, especially when they got in the red zone. Outside of that, I don't think we'll take a huge step back. If anything, I think we'll probably be even better just because we'll get some of those luck plays to roll our way.
Well, speaking of Miller, right? Like, you don't know what he's going to come back with that knee injury. Another ACL injury. You don't know if he's going to be the same after that. And Milano, you know what Milano's going to be after his injury. Looks like he's doing great now, but they missed their star safeties last year. So we beat a Bills team that had a lot of injuries, and we took advantage of it, which was nice, but you don't even know what they're going to get on their defense. You just don't know what's going to come back.
Either Josh Allen is the luckiest quarterback in the world, or the guy's unbreakable because all the rules for the running quarterbacks. I guess you could say that, but all the rules they have for the running quarterbacks somehow don't apply to him. Like he's taking some serious hits, and it's like nothing's bothering him. Like he's fine. He gets up, keeps it going.
That's that old school dude.
Outside of Cam Newton, I haven't seen a guy really just like go in there brute force the way he's really been. And man, I'm not wishing anything bad on anyone. I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Guys, tough. That's tough.
Hey, this I just reminded myself of something. But what did you guys think of how Michael Clemens pulled up today?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I knew he was gonna do something like this. 100%. 100%.
I didn't catch it. What did he pull up with? What do you mean?
So
Just
he didn't do anything like super crazy, but like this is how he walked up to training camp, and like they got it cut off a little bit. I think
there's a freaking bat.
like, he pulled like a Walking Dead bat.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Dude, I keep telling Gunny you should dress up like him for Halloween. and him I'm talking him into it actually, so it's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I need to see that. That's funny.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious.
I did see that picture, but I didn't notice the bat. Yeah, I didn't
notice it either till I was like checking out some like news reports or something, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh man, I 100% knew he was gonna do something like this. 100%.
It fits his personality. It's hilarious to me.
Oh, bro. 100%.
Yeah, he's gonna get some attention from Hard Knocks if you don't calm that down, man. That is something they really love to see. They love that type of stuff.
Dude's got no body fat. It's just all steel.
He reminds me of a young, tiny. Remember the guy from Friday that played Devo?
Oh, you're a fool.
He reminds me of him, but when he was in, because he was in wrestling at one point because he did a movie with Hulk Hogan, and his name was Zeus. That's what he reminds me of in that picture, like when he was doing wrestling and stuff like that. Yeah, man.
Nice.
I like a lot of these entrances we've had over the years. I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to pull up with his. Didn't he do like a Negan thing too?
Nah, dude, it was John Wick.
There we go.
John Wick. I thought he was going to do that too. I swear, I thought he was going to do that. 100%.
I thought he was going to pull up with his Wick thing. I liked Michael Clemens and like his little Negan role. I liked last Halloween when CJ pulled up his Bane. That was dope.
Bro, that was sick. Did you see? He went out of that tunnel like that too.
Yeah, that was fire.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. Because I'm a huge like DC guy, and I love Bane. I love the Joker. So like the fact that even CJ Mosley at one point even dressed up like the Joker too. So I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm so in. Gotham, baby.
I hope they just keep handing the ball to Breece Hall during the Hard Knocks show, because Breece Hall has no personality, and they just leave. Like, let's wrap up because there's no footage here. This guy doesn't smile.
Well, did you hear about him this year though? I mean, today. Sorry, did you hear about what happened today with him though?
With Breece?
About him being on the pup list or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cook sounds more.
I mean, he is a straight baller though, man. Like everything, like at a certain point of the season, every time he touched the ball, it was like 20, 30, 40 yards, bro. And then he went down on one of the biggest runs he had. That run, after that run, bro, I was like, yo, it's about to be a season. The next thing I know, he got an injury out of nowhere. Like, I'm like, I didn't even see him get injured during that 60-yard run. Where did he, like, sit down too hard? What happened?
I think
it's hilarious.
A non-contact injury on like a juke he was doing or something.
Him and Barrett Tucker, same game. Broncos.
Same game, bro.
Kills me. Bro.
And that guy was running us to the playoffs. And that's the thing about running backs. Like, oh my God, like you can be a straight up, you can carry a team, but you just cannot stay healthy. And that's why these GMs, one of the reasons these GMs can't really pay it. Like, it's just,
it's
you don't even know what you're going to get. I forgot this was Jonathan Taylor's third year. I thought it was like his 6th year. The way he's like been injured.
Jonathan Taylor.
The other day I saw 3 years. I'm like, whoa.
He did get an extension too, if I remember correctly.
He did. Yeah, he got an extension.
Yeah.
Him and Chubb. Chubb's the highest paid. And then McCaffrey is right behind him. But I'm pretty sure there's a guy in the middle of McCaffrey and Chubb, though, if I'm not mistaken. God, who's that?
And to me,
we're talking about the guy that the Saints picked up. Not Jameson. What's his name?
Kamara?
Alvin Kamara?
No. Kamara's didn't he get cut by the Saints? He's dealing with that whole trial like battery issue or whatever the hell.
I don't remember, but I thought
Jamal Williams, no?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I thought, well, you could be right, but I was. I just know Chubb is number 1. I think McCaffrey's number 3, but I feel like I'm missing someone like huge. Eckler?
Nah,
No.
he's
Ain't Henry up there?
Chargers right now.
Jacobs? It's not
Derrick
Saquon.
Henry.
Derrick Henry.
It's not Henry.
There you go.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
There you go. That's number 2. Crazy though.
And I don't even know what's happening with him right now. Like we're not hearing from him as much as we used to. He seemed like he had some injury issues.
I mean, not only injury issues, he's about to be traded to Buffalo. Not anymore.
Oh my God, I would have hated that so much.
Oh my God, everybody would. Shit. Well, I mean, now
sometimes these NFL.
Go on.
You
Sorry.
saying? No, I was just saying sometimes these NFL teams just seem like the rich keeps on getting richer. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how they get some teams. I'm like, how are you fitting this guy on your cap? Like you just have all these players and you just got this guy on your cap. How?
Hey, I'm with you. Some people know how to crunch and work the numbers. I'm more impressed with like what the Eagles is doing. You went and signed a whole college team.
Dude, no freaking kidding. Dude, it's like the Texans with Alabama. They just keep getting Alabama guys.
Yeah, that's still nuts to me. They literally have like a whole starting squad from Georgia.
They're all good though, too. I mean, all of them they picked up are good. It's like
when I see
like Alabama. Yeah, bro.
I hope Nolan Smith is bad.
What?
I'm sorry. I hope he's bad because we could have drafted him, and I just hope he's bad. And I hope Will McDonald is good.
Hey, man, I get it.
They
have enough damn pass rush too. Like
they picked up Nakobe Dean, right? Because that's the dude from the last.
I wanted him so bad. This still hurts. I thought we were gonna get that Georgia guy. Was it Smith? Was it Smith?
You talking about this year?
Yeah, the edge.
Talking about the wide receiver? Was it a wide receiver?
No, it was an edge. It was I think
he played for
Nolan Smith. Oh, Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith. I thought we were gonna get Nolan Smith, honestly. Either him or Cansey.
Well,
but I really thought we were gonna get Nolan Smith, and then I was like McDonald. I'm happy with it, but like, man, Smith was. I mean, he was right there. Ooh.
To me, listen, I get the division he's in, but Nolan Smith to me, like he didn't show to me as much on tape as McDonald did. And the numbers kind of represented too, but he could be good. He could be really good. But it's like the guy the Jaguars drafted last year.
Walker.
Yeah, like he was decent, but he wasn't number 1 overall pick. Like, he didn't have that type of season.
Yeah.
So
a lot of we betting on those physical traits way too heavily.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be really interesting. But, fellas, good chopping up with you. I got to go to bed. Got a long day tomorrow. But, boy, Kai should come on our show on Monday. We go every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Western Time, which is DK's time.
2 p.m. Central Time. I'll try to work that out on Eastern Time. See what time that is for me.
It'll be 3.
3 o'clock?
Yeah, it'll be 3 your time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
that can work. That can definitely work.
Shoot the links out to our stuff a little bit more.
Yeah, come to chat.
Yes, sir. That
all right,
sounds
hey,
good.
Boycott, nice to meet you, man. Follow all of us.
Hey, nice to
Jets
meet you.
stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey,
Appreciate
man,
you
you
coming.
guys kept me going at work.
Uh,
All right.
I
Appreciate
think I might try to stream the rest of this week and do like my little OTA recaps because I doubt I'll be able to do them at work. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, I'm helping my wife out at a kids camp right now, so I'm kind of like I didn't even know what was going on until I got on my stream tonight. I'm like, oh man, what happened?
You know, my thing with you is next week, right?
What's up?
I said my thing with you is next week. It's not this week, right?
Yeah, that's next week. Next
Okay.
Wednesday.
Bet. Okay.
All right, boys. Have a good night. Safe night.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace out.
Easy, fellas.